Hi guys, what is Keir Starmer doing? When it comes to Faiza Shaheen and Diane Abbott, I believe we have to look at how Labour is treating particular voting blocs. If we think about people, for example, who want the UK to rejoin the European Union, they have been very upset with the language the Labour leader and other senior people in the party have responded with on this issue. The vote is done, Brexit must be made to work, there isn't a case for going back in. Why is Labour responding in this way? Because Starmer and his team are making a calculation that these people are not necessary for us to win the election. Probably for two reasons. They have nowhere else to go, and they aren't concentrated in a number of constituencies that would harm us if they voted against us. I think this is the approach he's taking with people to the left of him in the party.
In terms of your candidate selections, 3 left-wing candidates now say they have been blocked from standing, and some people are suggesting that is a strategy. Are you blocking left-wing candidates from standing in this election?
No. I've said repeatedly over the last 2 years as we've selected our candidates that I want the highest quality candidates. That's been the position for a very long time. The situation in relation to Diane Abbott is that no decision has been taken to bar her. And, we have to remember that she was a trailblazer as an MP. She overcame incredible challenges to achieve what she's achieved in her political career. She literally sort of carved out the path for others to come into politics. And she did all that whilst also being one of the most abused MPs across all political parties. But I've always had the aspiration that we'll have the best quality candidates as we go into this election.
Notice the way he speaks about her in the past. Okay, not in the present. Now, I think a lot of people on the left are going to become political collateral damage here. And it's depressing to watch because these are wonderful candidates. These would make wonderful MPs, and unfortunately they're being thrown under a bus. Now, why is this happening? As I said before, like when it comes to people who want to rejoin the European Union, Starmer and his team are making a calculation. Can we ignore these people? Are they a problem? Well, they're a problem, but if we ignore them, is the cost more than the benefit of trying to, as they would see, pander to them? And I think the calculation is, well, it's better. I don't know what's going to happen with Diane Abbott. Maybe she'll be welcomed in, maybe she will not. But I wouldn't be surprised if they say, look, Diane Abbott is not going to be the MP because we can't be bothered, basically. Because they would see her as a cost, because the Conservatives, look, I don't agree with this, but this is, I think, what the Labour Party are trying to do. They would say, well, Diane Abbott is a cost for us. Is the cost of having Diane Abbott on board smaller than the advantage of having her on board? Well, if she's, if we're going to lose that seat to her as an independent, do we need that seat? No, we don't. We can still win a massive majority. So we can ignore Diane Abbott. There's a cost, but the advantage of having her on board would be, well, we'd have an extra MP, but the Conservatives would attack us through Diane Abbott. Oh, you brought Diane Abbott back on. You brought a Corbynista back on. You brought back Diane Abbott after the things she said. So she would become, in the eyes of people in the centre of the Labour Party, a liability. I don't think she'd be a liability, but perhaps people in the Labour Party see her as that, and they say, well, we need to get rid of this liability. Doesn't matter what she's done, doesn't matter what she's said, doesn't matter what she would bring to the party, she's too much of a liability. And I think this has been the same with others who have been kicked out or rejected. Now, the flip side of this is, well, people would say, well, isn't Natalie Elphicke a liability? Yes, she is a liability. But what the public look at, as I said before, is a Conservative flipping to Labour. Most people who are coming out to vote, most of them don't even know who Keir Starmer is, but fewer know who Diane Abbott is or any of the other left-wing MPs or candidates who have been rejected. This doesn't matter. I'm sorry to say this. It matters to us, but it doesn't matter to the general public. They don't care about internal politics. They care about who's going to be the next government, what are they going to do, Is it going to be the Conservatives? No, it's not. Then I'm happy with that. That's what the general public generally care about. They don't care about Diane Abbott. They don't care about internal politics within the Conservative Party or the Labour Party. They look at the government. Who's going to be the government? Is it going to be the Conservatives? Yes, then I don't want that. Is it going to be somebody else? Then I'm happy with that. And Labour, I think, understand this or are working towards that assumption. And if anything gets in the way of that, then it's swept aside. It's horrible politics. It's horrible to see, because it means that you're ending up with people who are maybe should not be in politics as MPs, and you're excluding people who actually bring something positive to the table. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.